Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As some of you may know, I've had a bout with COVID early to mid-January, and it's really messed up my schedule. So these models have been out for weeks at this point, but I still want to provide my viewers with my unique standpoint on stuff. So today we're taking a look at the Athearn SD70ACUs. Now these are Norfolk Southern and CP locomotives primarily, so I've got four. I've got the two Canadian Pacifics, which honor armed forces. There's more that'll probably come out from Athearn because Canadian Pacific had a couple other units. And then the two NS units, which, as you guys know, I'm going to be kind of shifting my model emphasis to NS with this layout more so. So with that said, I ordered a couple NS. So let's take a look and see what you get in the box next. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this one here. So your dealer's nice. They'll include the cardboard that protects the box from too much shelf wear, although eventually it causes some shelf wear of its own. But the Athearn Genesis box hasn't changed much. 75-year anniversary logo still on there. ACU exploded parts diagram on here. An Athearn flyer. You can sign up for Athearn news and such. Limited 1-year warranty, and the operator's guide. So we're looking at 18 pages here of data. Athearn packaging hasn't changed much in recent years. So you still have the foam surrounded by that surrounds a plastic clamshell off a sleeve, like you're seeing here. These locos are very eye-catching, and it's probably making a lot of non-CP modelers start to model CP. Man, that thing is definitely heavy. So we'll set that down and get it on the turntable and take a look. Okay, I'll tell you right out the gate that my pull test machine gave up the ghost, so I got to order a new one. But these, from what I'm hearing from some friends, are pulling at about 4.5, 4.8, which would be, 90 cars, or 75 cars, I'm sorry, 75 freight cars in HO, which is pretty good. But here is the CP version, and you can kind of see why it's eye-catching. I mean, the anti-skid on the PTC antenna array, just the pattern that's in from the real thing, looks good. You got ditch lights, headlights, separately applied grabs like crazy on the front of this locomotive, snow plow with grab irons, and the windows for the accessory hoses, the airline hose there as well, brake line hose there. McHenry couplers with glad hands. That's Athearn's brand of coupler. Plastic coupler, not something you can regularly pull super long consists with, but I haven't had many problems with it. The American flag's on the side there. This is Canadian Pacific number 7022. So there's armed forces themes for each of these. So this one kind of wears the gray, red, and black color pattern of modern Canadian and American warships. 7021, which we'll look at in a moment, or sand color that the Canadian and U.S. armies apply for fighting vehicles and equipment. And then there's a couple other ones. There's a 7023, which we'll get eventually when they release 7020, and maybe even CP6644, all honoring different aspects of the armed services. So this is a really long locomotive. It's about the length of an SD80 Mac. It's a rebuilt from some of those. I forget. I think it's the SD80s rebuilt from. But anyway, you can see the detail there. Canadian Pacific beaver logo on the side. There's some truck chain detail on the back. That's a real chain that dangles there. So these were actually originally built as SD90 43 Max, so that's why they have the similar body length and such. And then rebuilt for service even today. You can see handrails are pretty good. There's a little slight wave to the handrails, but nothing much. Rear ditch lights. You see the white paint on each end of each sill of the steps, which allow crews to recognize that these are, you know, steps are about to go up in low light situations. In the rear, you see the arm service little ribbon there, yellow ribbon. There's the MU hose and all the accessory hoses back there as well, and the Athearn coupler like we talked about. This gives you an idea of the handrails, which, you know, are pretty straight. There's a little wave to them on this side here. Sometimes that can be pushed in and straightened out. Also allows you to see the roof detail, including the 3 sets of radiator fans in the back, the dynamic brake fan, exhaust, horn. More detail over here you can see. And all of the fuel shut off, and sight glass, E-bell on this side here in the fuel area. Got a little compartment detail, doors with latches. There's a door right there with a latch. And then you got your steps up to the cab. These are the most visually stunning locomotives I've seen in some time. Got your sunshade too, and slight tint to the window, detailed cab interior that's going to be hard to catch on camera, but you have that, and then the cab windshield wipers and cab nose, sand filler hatches, and separately applied grab irons. Here's a quick 360 of 7021, and you may say, oh, what happened? The whole front end got smashed or something. Nope, that's just a magnetic roof, so you can see inside. Detailed cab interior, multicolor as well, and that just slides right up under nose there and slides in. So this one doesn't want to sit properly, it looks like. I have to do some off-camera finagling to get that to sit right. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so there, that's still a feature on some Athearn locomotives. You can see just the amazing truck detail. Got the sanding lines going to the trucks as well. There's that chain again on the back. So this is connected up to here, and then there's a separate chain here, but they're both dangly chains. They're not molded plastic. So US flag on the side, the 3 dimensional compartments, those 4 on the back. You can see with the way that flag is, brake wheel just aft of the beaver logo. Lots of great detail on these, and they're just, like I said, just amazingly visually stunning locomotives. Now here's the NS version. It's going to look a little bit like a plain Jane compared to the others, but NS modelers have wanted an SD70ACU for a while now. A lot of people were kit bashing and doing everything they could, but this has this PTC antenna array. It's still got front ditch lights, all the stuff we talked about, just a little less flashy in appearance, and more of the same on the back, including rear ditch lights back here. So that is the NS version. You got a nice matte black with just a slight gloss to it. Hopefully the light's catching it the way I see it for you, but I'll zoom in and give you guys a little pan job here so you can see what it looks like from one end to the other. And I'm going to pan again over here, but as you see, a little yellow warning for the steps on each side too, but this is a good look at the handrails. Handrails, plastic, are always a bit of a problem. These are pretty good for the most part. I've got a couple little wavy areas there, but you know, they're looking pretty straight. So got the horn there as well, and we talked about the PTC antenna array, slight cab window tint And you just got to be careful how you pick these up to get the roof off, because sometimes you can take an antenna with you. But I don't know. Let's see here. There's the roof removal. So you can see the cab interior. You can see there's a slight tint, maybe not as much on the windows here, but you can also darken them very easily with that access. So that is the NS version, which I have a couple of as well. Well, here's kind of a unique head-on view, so you can see all the differences between the CP and NS versions. I did go ahead and test all these on the track. All 4 of them work. All 4 of them were really solid, no parts flying, and that's good. And that's kind of why I buy so many locomotives, other than being a hoarder. With more than one variation, I can tell you, okay, this isn't a fluke or not. If all 4 of them had the roof missing, for example, I'd say, hey, that's a problem. But all 4 of these ran smoothly and operated smoothly, which is good. But you haven't seen that yet, so let's go ahead and get to that part and operate these right now. Now, startup is simply applying track power, and you'll hear the startup sequence. Okay, we're just going to go over a couple sounds here. Athearn has, many of the same 20 function sounds, so we'll just go over a few. Here's the bell. There's the horn. Short horn. Now F-Zero's headlight, and we'll look at lighting later because the headlights and ditch lights are nice. But there's just a few functions, sound functions to go over there. Move that at 1 speed step and get it on the rails here. 1 speed step, it moves along smoothly. Not terribly slow, but let's the AccuTrack speedometer be the judge of that. You can take a look at 1 out of 128 on my NCE Pro Cab and see what that registers as. Couple more seconds. 1.1 scale mile an hour on the speed step 1. That's pretty good. It's both slow, accurate, and it's not jerky, so that's really nice. I'm going in reverse now because sometimes motors act differently in forward than they do reverse, but 1 speed step again in reverse is very smooth. We'll go and go through a few speed steps so you can see the difference in speed. There's 2. 3. 4. And 5. Pretty good speed control there from this locomotive. That one. I want you to remember this horn. Because when you put this on, the NS horn is different. You can program all this to whatever you want anyway. Tsunami's got so many horns and stuff that are stored inside the decoders that you can change. Well, I just wanted to show you the difference in horns, because they are different horns from the CP to the NS, so they've accurately modeled that by switching out that sound file in the Tsunami 2 decoder. Okay, I wanted to show you the headlights here, ditch lights. sounds weird, they're on the same address, but as you can see, the NS flashes and the CP does not. Also wanted to show you function 6, which is the ground light. You can see very clearly right there. And the number board lights. They have a good color temperature, there's no shine through. They look really good. And although your screen, it looks like one light is brighter than the other on NS, that is not the case. It's all angles, and if it's flickering, that is frame rates, because there's no real flickering going on. So there's 4. A couple of them are not on track, so they look like they're a different scale, but there are the 4 locomotives, very smooth, good lighting, good operation, good detail. Okay, so we're gonna do a weight, because that's one of the things that's left here. Probably should have waited for that to zero out. Everything has been failing me today. See, 672 grams. A lot of this equipment did not want to come back from Christmas break. 1 pound, 7.7 ounces, 23.7 ounces. So pretty hefty locomotive, and it really is nicely done. I'm seeing no problems with it outside a handrail wave here or there, which is standard for most plastic. Zoom way in and take a look at coupler height here. Maybe a smidgen high. Check the other side of one locomotive and kind of call it a day. This is a very normal process, or things are off coupler height. It's like 90% of my videos, it seems like. That one's dead on. Now, NMRA for the wheel sets is in compliance, and the weight is not an MRA standard for locomotives, but weight's really good as well. So, there you have the Athearn SD70ACU. I think it was a well done locomotive. I think no QC issues. Just a great job on these, really. And really making some NS and CP modelers happy by making these available. So that's it. No run-bys yet, guys. As I continue to work on the layout, eventually it will be a loop very soon, and then scenery will evolve, and I'll be able to do run-bys again, at least a scene or two, hopefully this spring or summer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.